what is it, what does it take to run an online business? And what you're doing, you're out there
Mhm.
talking about online business. I want to talk about networking and all the stuff you've done recently, but
Mhm.
what does it take? Like, how did you get into this, and what does it take? And let's start with that and see where we go.
Yeah, great question. So, what it takes is sacrifice. That's the first word I'm going to use. Nobody likes it, but it takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of commitment, and you've got to use your personal edge. So, I'll go through all of those. I'm just going to write them down because sacrifice, commitment, and edge. And then we'll go through them. So, the first one, sacrifice. There's so much on social media that says or makes you believe that if you start posting and it's dead easy, do a YouTube, export it, make an audio, do some graphics, use Canva, that you can be an entrepreneur and that you can run a business, but you can't for so many reasons because it's so important that you build an audience, you add value with that audience, and you build a brand. If you think it's going to take you 3 months or even a year to get off the ground, you've been misinformed and it's not your fault. Social media advertising have used those messages to get you into their courses and programs. But I always say to people, 2 to 4 years to start making a living doing what you love if you commit. So the sacrifice is, are you willing to either let it take longer or work twice as hard as you're already working? And I think this is especially hard if you're a doctor or you're in a medical profession because, and even if I think, if you're a mom, a parent, life is so full, there's not enough space as it is. So if you go into this and say, I'm going to build a business, you have to honestly make the decision, I'm willing to sacrifice a chunk of my life towards this. So you've got to want this. You've got to want it. It is not going to happen by accident. You're going to make it happen. So the sacrifice bit is, can you do this for 2 to 4 years and risk not being paid in that time? If you're that committed, you'll probably make it and you'll probably get paid sooner as well. The second thing is you've got to be so committed. You can't get to the end of the day and say, oh, I've done enough today, that'll do. And this is dangerous territory I'm going to get into here, but we'll get into it. At the end of the day, if you said you were going to send that email, if you said you were going to do one more post, if you knew you could just edit that video and get it up, the people who do that make it, and the people who don't make it. Because it's not about the action, it's about the energy of the person. It's a behavior trait, that's what it is. And the people who make it do that one extra thing. I said it's dangerous territory because we then get into the territory of, oh, I don't deserve a break, I didn't work hard enough, the territory of burnout, and we can come back and talk about all of that. I actually have a view that burnout is quite often something that happens when you're working so hard on the wrong things, so you're not being rewarded for it, so you don't have the money to then afford a break or treat yourself to something and make it worthwhile. It just doesn't feel worthwhile. And then the third thing you need if you really want to make it in an online business is you have got to dig really deep and ask, what is unique about me? What is special about me? What is a gift I was born with? And you've got to milk it for all it's worth. So there is something you have, everybody listening, you've got a unique edge, a unique skill, something because of your background. You might not even recognize it as being a unique thing, but other people talk about it to you, mention it in passing, and you say, oh, it's just something. This is the thing that will separate you from other people online. This is the thing that people will connect with. I grew up in a military family, so we traveled all over the world. And it's not unusual, actually, for people who end up in medical professions to have some kind of connection to police, military, and have a lot of travel in their life. Because I traveled so much, this is a skill I didn't realize I had. Every 2 years, me and my brother went to a different school. So, whilst everyone else had the same group of friends growing up, we had to make new friends, fit in, understand a new culture, new languages sometimes. We lived in Germany, we lived in Canada, all before the age of 11. And then when I was old and I really started looking back, people said, how are you so good with people? How are you so good on stage? How are you so good in these situations? I thought, yeah, how am I? Oh, I know. I was trained from birth. This is a unique edge, so I'll use it. Yes, I'll go networking. Yes, I'll go on stage and talk. Yes, I'll let my energy be in rooms of lots of people. It's an edge, and not to use it is to take so much longer on the journey. So all of you've got to ask, what is different about me? What's unique about me? You might even think of it as being a weakness or something that happened to you in your childhood that wasn't fair. It actually could contribute to something about you that's giving you a skill that other people don't have. Find it, use it. It will help you. I think with medics, from what I know about the medics I've come across, one of the things they have that a lot of people don't have is they are grafters. They know how to put a shift in. You can put a shift in, but I think sometimes you can put a shift in and it be robotic and you do the job. And there's two types of shift you have to put in as an entrepreneur. One type of shift is innovation, creativity, vision. Where am I going? What's on my vision board? What do I want to be known for? What am I doing in the world? It's really fun. It's really creative. It feels really expansive and exciting. And then the other shift you've got to put in is to put all of that aside, forget it, let go of it, and do the freaking work. This is boring. It is monotonous. It is non-reward. It's non-fun. And I think there's a lot of people who get, tell me if you see this, Joe, or if it's just me. There's a lot of people who want to talk about their vision and where they're going and what's possible and what they could become. And I've had this new idea, Lisa, and I'm going to start a podcast. I've just started YouTube, but I've let that go now. And I think, wow, if you just did the work, if you just put a 9 to 5 shift in on outputs, 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 I'll make such a big point on this. Outputs. What have you produced this week, this month, this year? So I think when it comes to what is your edge, medics have the edge of they'll work hard. Clearly, you're very clever and you can assimilate lots of information. But the real skill is, can I assimilate that information and then put it into a container and share it and get
Yeah.
it done and get it out in the world? And I think when it comes to edge, one of the things all of us should do is look at what comes easy to us. When someone goes, oh, it's amazing that you can just speak on camera. Wow, that's probably a gift. Use it. Or if someone says, oh my God, you're so organized and so diligent. Well, that's a gift. Not everyone has that. Use it. And pay attention to what people comment about you. What people comment about you or what friends come to you for can often reveal your edge. And one of the exercises you can do is actually go to 3 or 4 people who really know you and say, what do you think is my best quality? What do you come to me for that you don't go to other people for? So
Yeah.
someone might say, oh, I come to you, Lisa, because you're always happy, energized. Well, that's a packageable product that I can sell. You know, happy, energy, lifting people. Oh, what
Yeah.
can I do with that? And your friends and family will see it in you, even if you don't see it in yourself.
You did a post recently about working on your business rather than in your business. And a lot of people, when they come to me in those early stages, have seen all those Instagram posts, but
Yeah.
they're at the beginning. So they're spending a lot of time working on the theory
Yeah.
before getting their hands dirty. How important is it to just get in there and do
Oh
the
my God.
grind?
Joe, do you know what? I think it's 90% of the job, honestly. I think in my 20s, I tried to cheat. I think in my 20s, I tried to cheat through manifestation, through quick wins, through the right photograph, through, being in the right room. But none of that's it. What's it is, can you build an infrastructure? Can you build an infrastructure, an ecosystem, a community? Can you output things into the world? Just for the record, I do believe in manifestation. I do believe that you'll ask for things, think of things, and 2 years later it will appear before you. But my view on it is be the person who does the thing, then work on holding the result. So this is an interesting one, okay? I've been really successful in the past and then broken it. Have you had this with people?
Not yet, no. Well, other people, you mean?
Yeah, other people like coming, they've had a big month and then they've crashed and like up and down, up and down. Okay, so I've been really successful in the past and then broken it. And what I realized is you've got to be the person who does the thing. So what are the tasks, what are the projects, and what are the tasks that link to the vision? If you take the vision and say, I want to be earning 7 figures a year, or I want to be earning 6 figures a year, or I want to be making an extra 3K a month, just ask, what are the behaviors of a person who brings in an extra 3K a month? Those people are building brand and building community. Fact. They have offers and they're telling people about those offers. Fact. They're working harder than most people. Fact. And they're setting up systems and processes. But there's another thing that people don't realize those people are doing. Tune in next week and we'll tell you all of it. The other thing those people are doing is they're working on their blocks. And this sounds really like a funny thing to say, work on your blocks, work through your subconscious blocks, because people want one magic word or a magic NLP session or a magic phrase or quote to fix it for them. And even in fact, medicine, sometimes this will fix the problem for me. What people don't appreciate is that actually walking through the pain of the discomfort is what will turn you into the person you need to be. So you can have a vision of yourself as being a writer or being on stage or running this big course or running this retreat or this group program. And it's easy when you hold it as a vision. You think you know how that's going to feel and you think you know who you need to be. But it's not until you walk out on stage and you deal with people's reaction to you on stage that you start to really feel the true vulnerability of that moment. And people will pull away from that vulnerability. I don't want to feel it. It doesn't feel safe. I have imposter syndrome, Lisa. I feel like I've gone beyond my boundaries. They'll say things like this. And I think this is great. When you're in that space, that's when we can do the work. Even if it feels a little too far sometimes, until you're in that space, you can't do the work. So instead of trying to make it feel better, this is the big thing. Instead of trying to make it feel better, you've actually got to learn to self-soothe in the pain. So making it feel better would be, I'm tired, I'm going to go to bed. Making it feel better would be, oh, this is really hard, I'm going to treat myself to a full packet of Revels. Just speaking from experience.
Revels,
Yeah.
that would be like so low down on my list.
Oh my God, it's so high on my list. Full bag. Yeah, Revels, give me the full bag. Family bag. Yeah, it's really bad. Or, this is hard, I'm going to go watch an episode of Netflix. Like, I deserve it. I'm working so hard. But actually, when the pain hits of, I feel vulnerable, I've just made that post, I've just done a launch and it didn't sell, you're going to want to move away from that pain because it's biological to do that. It's biological, and I think it's human in design to want to do that. But I think the entrepreneurs who make it sit in the pain and go, well, this sucks. Oh my God, I'm mortified. Oh my God. And they sit in it and they feel the pain and they let it go through their body, and then they make a story up about that pain that's different. So if lots of people go, oh my God, I'm in so much pain, this is awful, I'm never going to do that again, I'm not ready, I'm not good enough, your brain doesn't know the difference between the positive and the negative. It just goes, oh yeah, cool, I believe you. Whatever you're telling me, I believe you. Whereas, whenever I had my falls and my knockbacks, and by God, there've been a few, like I've had some big issues in my journey, which I'll share because I think it's important. When I've had those moments, yes, I felt really low. Yes, I Googled, what does it take to be an entrepreneur? Have I really got it? Yes, I went on the job boards to see if I should go back to work, back to corporate. But through it all, I just had this feeling inside of me, I can do this. I can do this. And do you know what? I'm going to find a way. Worst thing that can happen to me is debt, bankruptcy. I can't think, like, that's it.
Yeah.
It's different now a little bit. I've got a family. It's a little bit different now. But I just say to myself, you can do this, Lisa. You're going to figure it out. Just don't quit. And your only options are to keep trying until you make it, because you will, or you quit. They're the only options. This is not an option. I'm going to try it once and see how it goes. And if it works, I'll continue. And if it doesn't, I'll quit. Then I'll tell you right now, you've lost. You're not going to make it. But I left corporate. I was on a 65K package at 23. And I was like, no, Dad, I'm going to be a millionaire. The story I need to tell is how I got into debt 3 times. This product does not work for this market.